Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chase, joined with Christian, and we are here to announce that Rocky Mountain ATV MC has renewed our title sponsorship for the Rocky Mountain ATV MC-KTM-WPS team, and we're excited to announce that we've got Forrest, one of the team owners here, along with all three riders, Max, Shane, and Joey, and we just want to talk about all the big changes that we're going to see for 2022.
Lots of updates.
We've got investors, we got new team members, a lot of cool changes. So Forrest, thank you for coming and joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming down. Now look, a lot of big changes for 2022. You know, between the team management, the bikes, the riders. So we'll kick it off and start with just the team management. So now, what I'm being told is you got basically 3 team managers. So how's that working out for you?
Good. Michael Byrne, who's been with us for a long time, he's moved on. He's going to do some other stuff on the team training department. So with us, we've kind of taken advantage of that to just get a little more diverse, should I say. So we actually have 3 managers this year.
All right.
We're kind of splitting up the departments just because racing's growing, team's growing, everything's getting bigger, you know, trying to climb that ladder. So we're going to have an operations manager, which is Dylan Rash. Dylan's been with the team for, I think, about 4 or 5 years now. I worked himself up through the tech side. He's just a great guy at handling everything operations-wise, logistics-wise, so he's over there. And then on the technical side, which is crew chief to some people, you know, technical manager, just everything that has to do with the bike. So that's Derek Rankin.
Which he's been with the team before.
Yep, Rankin was mechanic with the team for 5 years. The third part and the unique part is we have an athlete manager now. So we hired Seth Rarick. Seth was formerly with Star this past year. He was the 250 team manager.
He took over for Will Hahn, correct?
Exactly. I think Will did Supercross and Seth took over for outdoors. I know Seth has a background and a passion in training, so that's kind of how we started talking. We were looking for team trainers, and it's something different for me. I'm looking for a dynamic because that's tough when you're trying to find personalities that match.
Right.
And we just hit it off on so many different platforms. So athlete manager, I think it's something new to our sport, but it's got that title because that's what he is. You know, it's not just the training part. There's so many elements that go with the rider. So with our guys, it's you know, there's such a mental side and all that. So it all ties into the athlete manager role.
That's cool.
Nice. And another big announcement that we heard is that you have a new partner with the team.
Yep.
So what can you tell us about that?
Really excited to talk about this one finally. So there's been a lot of rumors out there of investor and sponsor and things like that. No, it's official partner. So Mark McKenzie, really proud to finally say and announce that I have a 50-50 partner now in BBMX, which is the race corporation behind the race team. And that's what this will be going into our 19th year. So
wow, that's awesome.
Mitch has us beat, but behind there, I think we're the longest standing independent team now.
I did not know it's been 19 years. That's a long time.
Going into 19 years. So with that said, I've been looking for a partner for some years now. You know, I've been up against a lot. You're up against the factories. We're kind of yin and yang to each other, and it's great. And he brings stuff to the table that definitely helps me and the team, and I bring stuff to him that'd be much different from him just coming in and wanting to start a team. You know, it's got a unique dynamic.
That's awesome.
Running a race team in this sport, you know?
All right. Now, on top of that, we got to talk about riders now because...
we got Joey coming back. We're all pumped to see that. But you added 2 new riders. How'd that work?
Yeah. Well, Joey, I just got to give him props and throw in there. You know, Joey, first year with the team, tough year. You know, COVID year, post-COVID year with weird schedule. And Joey hadn't ridden Supercross for a year before that. So Joey came out, top 10 overall, 450 championship in Supercross. Outdoors, same thing. That was a no-brainer, you know. He earned his stripes, and definitely we both feel like we can do a lot better.
Sure.
So then, the new guys. So bringing that in, Shane's someone that I always watched, always admired from 250 days, and knew he could ride a 450 from his amateur days, and it just has been one of those, wait and see what this guy could do. And last year he got in a 450. He got injured, unfortunately. He was the team that was Supercross only, so we didn't see what he did outdoors. He loves KTM. I like him, and
just a match made in heaven. Then, right?
A lot of our sponsors. He's like he's Trey Kennard 2.0. You know, like I don't know. He's just such a good guy.
Love Shane.
But he's fast, man. He's fast. So even though he only got to show up for a couple races, I think the first race back he posted fastest qualifying time. I think was second overall in the night, and those are the types of things we look for. You know, it's not just you got to look at everything, but there's certain things that you can't fake. You know, and speed's one of them. So really excited with him, and then with Max.
The Englishman.
New dynamic. So never worked with someone like Max that's from Europe and has experience on the GP circuit in his prime. Max raced here, I think, when he was like 16, 17 in the 250 class. And had some good results and everything, but he was just at that young age, got an offer. I don't know what his whole story was, but he went back and then he had a GP career and a successful one on a lot of factory teams. He's got a Motocross the Nations title, which is a new, no, can't say that. Andrew Short had a Motocross the Nations title. So second Motocross the Nations title on the team, just different country. But no, it's just good. He's got a personality, you know, he's fun, he talks, and like I said, he does have Supercross experience from the past. So he's gotten his feet wet these last 2 years, and outdoors, I think he's got a lot of speed and show what he can do. So getting on the KTM, again, he was on a Husky for a while overseas. He's really familiar with bikes. So everybody's excited.
Is 2022 the expectation for Max maybe a little bit different than Shane and Joey, just knowing that they have so much more experience for Supercross? Or does Max feel like on the bike with the right training and everything else, he can, you know, jump up there and be a top 10 guy?
Yeah, and being very respectful to past teams or teams, you know, where he's coming from. And that's the best part about Max so far. He's very professional like that too. It's just, everybody's always looking to move around and find a change in who they're going to work with. And I think for Max, getting to work with Joey and Shane and the other guys at the compound is just something that he really wants to do. And there's a family fit too, you know, him and his wife knows some of the other wives, and it all kind of ties in. So with that, expectations, I would say, just to be flat straight, you know, Supercross, expectations are on the other two to be what we want to be. We want to be top 5. I mean, I feel we were a top 5 team this year. I mean, Joey was on the bubble. It just was, again, story for another day.
Right.
But so much stuff went on this last year. It was just a tough one for a lot of teams with that schedule. So I'd say Max is still, I mean, top 10 guy, and I think he can be there. He's proven he can be there. Outdoors, I think it's going to swing. Yeah. People are going to be looking for Max to really pour it on outdoors, especially on our bike, our team.
Awesome.
So it's going to be a cool year.
So Forrest, while we're talking about riders, I've got to ask a question. I feel like it's kind of the elephant in the room right now, is Blake Baggett. Okay, he was contracted to ride for 2021. We never saw him on a bike. And there's a lot of rumors floating around there. And I think a lot of people just expect that because Christian and I work for Rocky Mountain that we just know what's going on, which we don't. But I think the most common rumor we heard is that there was a lawsuit over money between you and Blake. Is that true?
Nope, no lawsuit. It was not a lawsuit. There was, I think the lawsuit word came from just lack of info to media and fans at the end of the day.
So when you say lack of info to the media and fans, can you expand on that a little bit? And look, bottom line, was Blake Baggett paid what he was contracted to get?
What's so tough is COVID in 2020 was so hard on the industry as a whole. I mean, the world as a whole, you know, and just boxing it back down into our industry, we just had so much go on. You know, there's no fans, and when there's no fans, there's no fans. I don't think that's just one thing. Again, everything is going on. No one really hits. There's no fans. You got sponsors falling out left and right. Just so much going on. You don't even know what's coming. You know what you're going to race. I can't talk about money and riders and sponsors directly. What can I say is, you know, we took a haircut. The team took a haircut, and staff took a haircut. Tapping back into your question on what I meant by lack of info to the media, I just mean in general. You know, keep it short. Just all teams in general. I think COVID just got so tight. The year got tight. No one really knew what to say. You had teams drop out, things like that. So I think that's just something in the future that both the teams, the media, riders, we can all work together better. There's just not so much finger pointing at the end of the day. The fans do have a right to know, you know, what's going on out there, and I think that's just what I meant by that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 2020 was tough. I mean, there's a lot of sponsors that had a tough go. We saw teams go away completely in 2020. So, yeah, I mean, just glad to see that, you know, a lot of the companies did make it through.
Yeah. You know, on that note, let me stop you for a second. It's not really a plug. It's every sponsor was different. You know, it was just a dynamic. Same as the world. I mean, you got millions and millions of people out of work, period, in 2020 across the world. So in our industry, teams went. You get sponsors all over the place, but what I kind of want to stop is there was excellent sponsors. There was great sponsors. And sitting here with you guys, this really is me giving props to you guys, because you did. You guys were one of the lead sponsors that stuck to our agreement. You know, you took care of our advertising agreement and carried the team. And there's other sponsors, you know, can't get in the listing down names, but there's other sponsors that did the same. You know, at the same time, in the big picture, you got sponsors that did what they could do and worked with you and talked with you. You have guys that went under.
Yeah, no, 2020 was hard on a lot of people. Now look, Forrest, last question on this subject, and this is just to put it to bed. How did things end between the team and Blake?
I honestly can say we parted ways amicably.
Well, good. That's good to hear. I'm glad we got to talk about that. Blake's a good guy, and I hope we get to see him out there riding again soon. All right, moving on. We talked about some big changes for 2022. Some other ones that we want to cover briefly with you are, you guys are doing your own engines now, and your own suspension is what we are told.
Yeah, there's, let me jump back and go quick now. So there's a lot of rumors out there, but this is our official announcement of what we're really doing. So this is, welcome, here's what we're gonna do.
All right.
We've also renewed with KTM Motorsports and KTM North America for the next 2 years through 23 also. So this is actually gonna be pretty cool. This year, this current year will be our 10th year anniversary with KTM on the factory program or level,
That's
so
cool.
it'll be years 10 and 11 with them. In that program, we are kind of going a mold of just being a little bit more independent and growth. And I think it's just, again, KTM with Husky and Gas and everything growing, the program's getting so big. With that, we were just kind of ready to take a direction where what they provide for us was unreal, and I'm not going to get into detail just for time reasons, but
Sure.
Again, they're juggling a lot of teams now. Everything's spread. So for us, it was really just a question: can we take over, managing our own suspension, our motor programs? We have protocol to follow in there. Everything at the end of the day, we all want to do a great job and finish on the top and not go backwards. So yes, we are. We're going to be doing suspension and motors, but it's not as crazy as people think. With suspension, it'll still be through factory WP. Like we'll still be on WP Works parts, and we're working with REP and one of our old techs that we used to work with, and really some old people were at the team, and we're really excited about that. But we're responsible for our own suspension would be a better way to term it this year. So
it's not that KTM saying, oh, yeah, but you can't have this or this. They're allowing you to still have what you would normally get. It's just you guys are managing it on your end.
First, it's very important for everybody to know that, yeah, we're still KTM. We're KTM Orange. Everything's the same. Contracts, park next to in the pits, full KTM support team and all that. But with this, I think what is best is we get to show, what the bikes really can do now, so people don't have an outside perspective that, well, they're on a factory bike too. So what they're doing is because they're on the factory bike, but I still can't get that bike. No. We're going more independent to show you that, no, our bikes, this is the bike. Now we're going to do our suspension and we're going to do our engines. So like Mitch Payton in Pro Circuit, they've been around for so long, so you don't think about it, but Mitch's Cowie's factory 250 program.
Right.
But it's Pro Circuit. So who does suspension? So it's Works components, but it's Pro Circuit's working on it, right?
Okay.
Who does the engine? So it's Work component. So it's kind of like that. And then unfortunately Geico's gone, but I'd say if you knew Geico or for people who knew Geico model, same thing. Honda factory support, but they got to do their own deal. And Star, I mean, that's the team right now, right? So Star pulled that over into the 450 class, and JGR did it before. They're not here anymore, but that's just the model. It's where I feel we all need to go to grow. There's only going to be an OEM team if that's all we leave it at.
So that's awesome. You guys get to take responsibility for your own bikes, your suspension, just kind of do your own thing more. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Forrest, before we get you out of here and we bring in the riders to talk to them about their season, is there anything else that you want to mention that we haven't talked about yet before we move on?
Oh man, I could be here forever, and I guess have to kick me out because there's so much. But no, the big ones, I'd say the biggest thing we talked about, the riders, they're going to come in. We've got a fourth rider this year, and he's a Pro-Am rider. So it's something that's a little different too. And he's young. His name's Ethan Lane. He's 16 years old, and he's from Spain. He was going to do the GPs this year. With the delay, came over here. So Ethan's going to run the Pro-Am, Major Amateur Nationals. Just kind of started working out now, and he'll work his way to outdoors, and then he will be debuting as our sole 250 rider in the Outdoor National Championship. Oh. So that it's a record setter, but my favorite can't just never leave him out. So I'm gonna give a sponsor plug to WPS and Fly. This is I said KTM, this is gonna be year 10, big year 11. WPS and Fly is gonna be years 17 and 18.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost the whole.
That's impressive.
It's like when I go back to that 47 rider count, and then go back to sometime when we started. So it's that's a big part to me too. So really, entitled name's still the same, and yeah, The Rocky Mountain ATV MC-KTM-WPS team is going racing, and we're excited. You know, the biggest thing to leave it on my end is this isn't a rebuild year. Yes, there's changes going on. There's a new partner, riders, but man, the focus, the goal, the energy, it's like the energy I feel is going to be at Anaheim 1. If you guys could get down to the compound maybe this fall and just film the energy of what's going on. Yeah, I mean, in-house dyno now and everything, and it's
strong.
Yeah.
Awesome,
The
man.
energy's there.
Well, hey, congratulations on everything you got ready to rock and roll for 2022, and we wish you the best of luck this year. And now let's get the riders in here and get their thoughts on the new season. All right, so here they are. We've got Max Anstey, Joey Savacci, Shane McElrath, the trio for 2022. Guys, thank you so much for coming down to the Rocky Mountain Warehouse. All right, you guys got to do a tour earlier, which is actually kind of fun. You guys learned some stuff you didn't know.
The new Amazon. Rocky Mountain is coming for Amazon.
All right, well, look, Shane, you've already got the mic, so I'm going to start with you. So 2021, we really didn't get to see you at your full potential. You're doing some injuries, you had some other stuff going on, but when we did see you, we saw what you can do. You're up there in qualifying. I remember you ripped that whole shot. So bottom line, for 2022, like what is the expectation for you? Where do you see yourself?
So for me, really, I'm coming into my rookie season again with more experience, with a few gate drops, not very good, but as a racer, I was coming off my biggest year and my best year in the lights class, moving up to 450s. Got injured right after I got on the bike, right before the series started, so I missed the first 6 rounds, and then kind of dealt with another injury from there. So really didn't have much bike time, and I just needed to get behind the gate. New bike, new class, new everything. So I was like, I have to go race. And so really it's a new rookie year with a lot of experience learned and a lot of time to build this year.
Yeah, and you've been on a KTM before for other teams, so did going back to this bike feel comfortable right away for you?
Right away, yeah. It's pretty crazy, like just the KTM with the steel frame compared to the other Japanese brands. Even though they're all aluminum frames, they all handle quite a bit different, and some are kind of opposite. So getting back on the KTM, it's the 450. It's even a newer frame than when I last rode it, but still really similar characteristics and really felt right at home right away.
Nice.
We talked to Forrest, and it sounded like he'd had his eye on you for a long time. So how are you and Forrest, and how do you feel to come together with him like that?
It's pretty cool because, so my wife and I, we had spent the last 2 years in California, and really with the year we had last year, we kind of had with 2020 going long, and we were trying to work out our deal for Supercross for 2021. Our apartment lease was ending. We didn't know what we were doing, and so we have a place in Florida, but we were like, we can't really do anything right now. So we signed another lease and stayed in California for another year, and had probably my worst year results-wise with injuries and stuff. And kind of looking back on that year, we were just like, we kind of could have made this work in Florida financially and everything. So we just started praying about being back in Florida, whatever that looked like. And we actually came to Florida just trying to search for anything, trying to get out of a rut and figure anything out. And a couple days before we came, that's when I met Forrest, found out that he actually lived about an hour from us, and we ended up meeting up with him, and we were on our way back to Florida. So it's yeah, pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Joey, second year on the bike and the team. So last year, you were coming on strong. You had good results, but you know, we've seen you run up front. We've seen you ripping hole shots. I don't want to say last year. Give us what your take on last year was, and then going into 22, like what you've learned, and then just like Shane, like what is your expectation for 22?
Yeah, I mean, 21 wasn't the greatest by any means. Making the transition to a new motorcycle that I haven't been on in a long time. Just dealt with a lot of things. Obviously, coming off of my injury in the end of 2019. It was just a lot on my plate. to be honest, it just took a while to kind of fight off the demons, more or less.
Okay.
I had a lot of headspace I was trying to clear out, and just a lot. You know, like I could sit here and ramble on, but you know, at the end of the day, it was me trying to figure out how to take care of myself, and you know, through the process of it all, and as the year went on, we kind of figured things out. I mean, they say better late than never, but it was pretty late. The last 2 rounds,
Sure.
In Salt Lake, we made a pretty big change, and it was definitely better. And we ended the year on the season best. So, I mean, I'm excited for 22. I think, you know, from what I learned my first year with this bike, going forward is going to be very helpful. And, you know, result-wise, I mean, obviously, you know, I feel like I'm a contender, and I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be. So I think results-wise, I don't really try to get too caught up on specifics on results. But, you know, my goal at the end of the day is to show up and perform the best that I can do. And if I can leave each weekend knowing, you know, like, hey, we only got 7 tonight, but I rode good and I did everything I could do, then and that's the goal.
Right on.
Well, it's the same team, but there's a lot of changes to it with the 3 team managers and the
Yeah, Forrest kind of
engine
talked
suspension
about
stuff. How
the
you feel about
dynamic of
all
the
that?
team this year is much different too. Like, how's that going with you guys? Said that the team chemistry is different. Everyone's happy. Like,
It's
has
new.
that been a big change too?
I don't even think we've really even had enough time to figure it out, to be quite honest. But I do think it will be better. I just think with more people involved, you know, sometimes too many hands or too many cooks in the kitchen gets a little messy, but I think it will help just straighten out, you know, some of the issues that maybe we had in the years past. But I mean, for me, I'm excited. You know, I
Right
think
on.
there's a fresh breath of fresh air.
All right, Mr. Anstey over here. So Max, this was kind of unexpected for a lot of people. How did you get to where you are right now? Give us a little background on this. We heard Shane's story. Where did you come from?
Well,
Where did you come from?
well, I come from England. I mean, yeah. Long story short, I raced MXGP for a long time and got the opportunity to come out and race Supercross and motocross the last couple of years, which, you know, it is a dream for many Europeans. You know, to get my foot back in the door over here is something that, you know, I've been wanting to do for the last X amount of years. So I did the best job that I could the last couple of seasons and learn and try to, you know, get the flow of everything here in America and then yeah, the opportunity came up with Rocky Mountain. And to be honest, for me, you know, I went to the 83 compound where the track and the facility is, and I went there once in 2020 before the National in Jacksonville. And honestly, I fell in love with the place, and I thought, it's so unfair that these guys get to ride this, and I'm stuck in California beating around on the dusty tracks, and I thought, right, I need to do whatever it takes to get over here, and literally I made it happen. You know, I did everything that I could to make this deal happen. I knew that, you know, coming over from Europe and the last couple of years, it's been fine, but I didn't come here to make up the numbers. You know, I come here to race and to perform, and I feel like these guys, with the setup moving forward for this next year, is going to be great. I feel like the facility, being able to train with top level guys, having great teammates.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you've got 2 guys that been title contenders, won a lot of races before. Like, that's gotta be something for you. You're looking at, dude, that's gotta help me for this next season.
Yeah, a lot of experience too, and just being able to be around the best guys, and on the championship winning bike from last year in Supercross. You know, I think that for me is something that I just wanted to elevate myself and do whatever I could to put myself in a position to do that. And, you know, thankful to Forrest and Mark, the guys for the opportunity, because, you know, yeah, I'm here to do the work.
Nice. And now you've got the least amount of experience in Supercross compared to these 2. So have you and Forrest had any conversations about, is there a different expectation for you in Supercross? Have you guys even crossed that bridge, or is it just kind of see where you're at by the time the season starts and just ride your best? Have you guys had that discussion?
No, no, we haven't had that discussion. At the end of the day, I'm just really I'm really happy. We've got a great team trainer. Again, a lot of experience there. So for me, being able to train with, like I said, top guys, I think it's going to bring me on. You know, I'm a racer. I'm experienced in GPs. I've been around. You know, okay, I've not raced Supercross, but I've been around the races. I know how to handle myself in those situations and where the line is of not stepping over that line. So for me, it's just about performing my best and doing the best job that I can, and I think we'll be all right.
Heading into 2022, we're going back to more of a normal schedule, 1 race per week. Triple Crowns are back. Hopefully full stadiums. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm pretty excited, to be honest. Last year was it was a lot. I mean, obviously, I have a little one at home, so the urgency to get home was a lot higher. I was actually flying home Wednesdays, riding Thursdays, and coming back Fridays, just to try to get a little bit of riding in. But yeah, the once a week, I'm glad we're back to that, honestly. I mean, it was a change of pace last year, and that's what we had to do. But I think a majority of the people would probably agree it's a lot. It's just, if things are clicking, I'm sure it's awesome, and you just want to keep racing. Yeah. But, you know, if you are struggling a little bit, or you're just not gelling, or whatever the deal is, if you're off that little bit, you know, you can get by with one. But when you're there for back-to-back 3 times in a week, and, you know, it's just a big swing, and things can happen very quickly. So back to Triple Crowns, that always makes for very, very high intense racing.
But
So,
do you like them? If you could choose, would you have them in or out of the schedule?
I mean, I don't mind them, honestly. I think for the viewing standpoint and for the fans in the stands, I think it makes for great racing. Sure. And I think it just brings a lot more excitement. Everything is so short, and it keeps all of us bunched together that much more. That's not always a good thing. Obviously, if you're a good starter, they're awesome. Yeah. You get the whole shot, and you just do your thing for the 10 minutes or whatever they end up being. But I'm not opposed to them.
All right.
How excited are you for everyone to hit you up in the pits saying they picked you in fantasy?
Yeah, I love when they tell me that. Like, I'll remember that on the line. That's what I'm gonna be worried about.
You're like, they need me. All right.
Yeah, they need me. I'm a dig deep.
Max, schedule for you? You like it? You glad to go back to normal schedule?
I'm just excited that the British fans and the European fans are allowed to come over for Anaheim. I watched the news the other day, and from November, which is now, they've lifted it so they can travel. So I think that's going to be awesome. Like, just for family and friends and the fans, I think we're going to get a lot of them come over for Anaheim. Like, Anaheim's always busy anyway, right? But going to be kind of cool just to have some support from back at home. And yeah, looking forward to it. I don't know any other schedule apart from what we did this last year. So again, never raced a Triple Crown race. I don't even know how long the races are, so I'll figure that out when I get there. But yeah, no, I'm excited because it's what we all watch. It's bar to bar. It's what we watch on TV when we're a kid. You know, it's Supercross. Anaheim is Supercross. You know, for me, and that's going to be cool. So I'm definitely.
Well, you got 3 of them this year.
Yep, definitely excited. So I think it's going to be fun.
There's 3 Anaheims. Oh yeah, 3 Anaheims.
All I know is you know where the pockets of Brits are in the stadiums. You know every time as soon as there's like a British racer out there.
Yeah,
so crazy.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I definitely think it's going to be good for the fans, just because everyone's been pent up and kept at home for so long, and now being able to travel and come out and see the Supercross. And you know, I know January is just a massive time when everyone comes out because the weather's so bad at home. So everyone comes to California to go riding. So
favorite thing in America?
Oh, he's getting deep now.
Don't say Twin Peaks.
Favorite part about America? I don't know. There's so many good parts. I honestly love America. That's a bit of a boring answer. The weather, California's nice. No, the weather in California is good. No, spicy food wasn't my favorite. The weather in California was always great, always sunny. I don't know about Florida. I do hear that there's a lot of rain and hurricanes and alligators and a lot of things that can bite you and sting you, and which we don't have in England. So Yeah, I don't know. No, I love America. I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff. I need to do that bit off of Talladega Nights. You know, public health care through this and whatever he says. You need to cut to that bit and then go through that. What's not to love about America?
I like it.
I should have watched that film yesterday and it would have been better.
That one will stick with you.
Oh, well, look, guys, big change for 2022. You guys are fit, everyone's healthy. That's also one last thing I want to point out that a lot of people I don't think realized about last year. The Supercross schedule was hectic. Not a lot of downtime. Yeah, you had some more breaks, but it was just the grind. You know, like Joey was saying, you didn't get a lot of time to just rest. You were always traveling, or maybe you feel like you're in the same city for 3 days or 4 days, but yeah, living in a hotel sucks.
Like being apart from your families and all that. You don't really think about that.
And then the whole season with motocross went way longer this year. So really, you guys didn't have much of an off season, what you guys are used to. So I think it's been good for you guys to get back to a normal schedule. And we are pumped to have you guys on the team. Again, thank you so much for coming out here to do the tour, do this interview, and we are really excited to see what you guys have in store for 2022.
One more thing.
What?
If you need Photoshop, I'm your guy. You let me know if you need anything Photoshop.
Yeah, I sent it to Forrest. He was like, "Hey, send me."
I know what we're talking about.
So he sent it to me because I was gonna.
Hold on, you need the mic. You need the mic.
So we were gonna post at the same time. Forrest's like, "Hey, I need a headshot." So I'm like, "All right, send him a headshot." I didn't have any. Send him the headshot and waiting. Like we're gonna post at the same time. Boom, Forrest posts. I'm like, huh. I see the picture, and I'm like, wow. Okay, so I just told my wife, I'll just copy and paste. And so I did, and I don't really care. And now Joey and I got our first team photo together.
I love it, dude. I love it.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't know if Forrest did that or if his kids did that or what. So yeah.
I can't believe you asked that question.
You got to do the hard-hitting stuff.
All right, well, let's try this again. Thank you guys so much for coming out for this. We've had an absolute blast. Stoked to see what you guys have in store for 2022. For everyone out there watching, you can follow the team. They have their own Instagram page. Also, get ready for fantasy, because that's going to be coming up soon. You got to play fantasy. Get these guys in your top 5. Thanks, guys. We look forward to it, and we'll catch you soon.